And colleagues on the Health and Human Services Committee. I am here today because I'm a co-sponsor of LD 1820. I'll be brief. I'm not a content area expert, well, you folks are. The Temporary Assistance for Needy Families program is specifically designed to provide support for Maine's most vulnerable families. People have to qualify, or families have to qualify for their assistance here, and the expectation is that the benefits or the money that they receive for their sustenance will in fact be spent here. I support the bill for that reason. I recognize that there may be some implementation challenges, and some of the questions have already come up, which are questions that I have as well about how to make this work. But I would encourage you as a committee to work with each other and use this bill as a vehicle. If we haven't hit the nail right on the head, maybe there's some way of accommodating some of the concerns that have already been raised and others that may come up between now and during the work session. But I do support in concept that these are folks who qualify here, and I would expect the vast majority of the benefits to be utilized here. And if there's another way to solve that than the specific language is here, I hope you can find it.
Thank you, Representative Hayes. I have a question, actually. So I wonder if we have any numbers about if there are EBT cards from other states that are being spent in Maine, for example, like migrant farmers, people who come into the state and are very mobile with and have very low income, but we certainly couldn't do without them. Do you know of any numbers that might indicate how many EBT cards from other states are being spent here in Maine?
I have none of that information.
Bring that back to us, please.
It's not likely. I don't have the capacity to acquire it for you.
Thank you.
It's not because I don't aspire to have the information, but in 24 hours I'm just being real candid.
Are there other questions for Representative Hayes? Oh, Senator. Senator Lovich. I was looking that way.
Thank you, Representative Hayes. You said you believe that the vast majority of Maine welfare money should be spent in Maine.
No, I said TANF.
TANF, but that's what I meant.
I never use the term welfare because I don't know what it means to anybody.
Exactly. I usually don't either. But I mean, there was a whole flurry of news stories not too long ago, and I wasn't aware that the vast majority of TANF money was not being spent in state. Are you concerned that the vast majority of TANF money is being spent out of state?
No, but I don't think that we need a vast majority to have a problem. I didn't mean to cut you off, Senator. I'm looking at this and saying, what's the reasonable expectation of the folks who are providing the resources for this benefit? And I think the reasonable expectation is that you will qualify for the benefit here, and the vast majority, if not all of the money, would be spent here to support these temporarily vulnerable families. That's what the money is for. So I don't want my comments to be characterized with the term welfare, because I don't know what that means. I'm specifically speaking to the TANF program. Correct. So to the extent that someone is paying their rent with their TANF card outside of Maine, or using significant charges, I'm saying I don't think that's right. I think that that money should be spent here. Right. That's where they qualified. And if in fact there are accommodations, I think the issue of folks who live on the border with New Hampshire is a very good issue, a very reasonable concern based on the current language in this bill. I am encouraging you to find a way to accommodate that as opposed to simply not supporting the bill that provides you a vehicle for doing that.
Other questions for Representative Hayes? Senator.
Thanks, Madam Chair. I may not know the answer, but maybe somebody else does. Can you just tell me the way that the TANF program is funded, as far as are there federal dollars that go into it? Is it from the general fund, or how is that?
No, I can't. Okay. If I tried, I'd probably get it wrong. So, and then but someone behind me, I'm sure can. I started by saying I wasn't a policy area expert, and I meant it.
Other questions for Representative Hayes? Seeing none, thank you very much.
Thank you.